and talk to yourself. Say, self. Say, this battle is not yours. It's the Lord's. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor. Say, this battle is not yours. It's the Lord's. As we look into the book of 2 Chronicles, we find that the writer Ezra is giving a detailed spiritual description of a physical battle that is about to take place. That is aimed towards the throning Jehoshaphat. I will have you to know that the word dethroning literally means to removal of one's power or to take one's position. But I found as I was doing my research that every battle is almost always reported by a reporter. For as I look back to January the 19th, 1990, when I found that even the Persian Gulf battle was heavily televised. And in the United States, the big three networks led the coverage on this battle. It was reported by ABC's Peter Jennings, CBS's Dan Rather, and NBC's Tom Brokaw. But there was one man who was reporting live from the battlefield in Baghdad, and that man's name was Gary Shepard, and he worked for ABC. I can remember when Gary told Peter Jennings about the quietness in the streets of Baghdad, but soon he came back on the air and said that lightning is beginning to flash in the sky. He said that missiles are beginning to shoot. This means that the battle has started. But that was only one physical battle that took place. I'm reminded today of another battle that is probably one of the most important battles of our spiritual history. And that spiritual battle broke out in heaven. John words it this way, and there was war, and war broke out in heaven. John lets us know that Michael and his angels fought with Lucifer and his angels. But Satan and his angels did not win this battle, and afterwards they were kicked out of heaven. Well, after all of this happened, Satan became mad with us because at this point we took his job. Because he had a job of praising God, but because of his ignorance and his envy and his jealousy and malice, now he has been kicked out of heaven. Now the praising that he used to do, that is what we do now. So now this is why he comes at us trying to wreak havoc on our lives. And we find here in the text that Ezra is beginning to show us that Satan has went over and gotten with Moab, Ammon, and the Ammonites and others besides them. We see here in the text as Ezra begins his spiritual broadcast from the battlefield. He is reporting from the spiritual station 2 Chronicles 20:1. Verse 1 says, it happened after this that the people of Moab and the people of Ammon and others with them, besides the Ammonites, came to battle against Jehoshaphat. See, while I was watching this station, I realized something. See, when you are living in a world and you're living for the Lord like Jehoshaphat, and God is blessing you, everybody is not going to like it. So when somebody decides that they're going to come and get you, there will be many co-signers, meaning that others will say, if you're going to get him, I'm going to go with you because I never liked him anyway. But see, Jehoshaphat was a person who was blessed by God. He was living for the Lord, and because of this, Ammon and Moab and all of them wanted to come and get him. See, we have the same problem. People will come and battle us, and they try to battle us while we're going to working hard every day trying to make a living for us and our family. But then they come right to your house by battling you by stealing the tires off your car, knowing that's the only car you have and the only way you have to go. They come to battle you by breaking in your house and stealing your television and stealing all of your couches and chairs. They are battling you because God has blessed you. They battle you by telling lies on you. They battle you by cheating on you. They battle you by stealing from you. But I stopped by here to tell somebody that this battle is not yours. Even when they begin to battle you, you can get on the telephone and dial 911. But if I were you, I know another man that you can call. You ain't got to wait for him to send a patrol car because he is already there. He is J-S-U-S. I'm talking about Jesus. I'm talking about a man that don't mind fighting for you. Now let's tune back into this spiritual broadcasting station that Ezra is reporting from. 2 Chronicles 20:2 says, then some came and told Jehoshaphat, saying, a great multitude is coming against you from beyond the sea, from Syria, and they are in Hazazon Tamar, which is En Gedi. Notice that it says that some came to him and told him this. I have realized something in my 32 years of living, that everybody who comes to you to to share information with you is not always telling you for your good. I'm pretty sure that some of the folks that went to Jehoshaphat were trying to help him, but some folks were trying to set him up for the kill. But see, they just didn't know who he knew. What I'm trying to get you to see is that sometimes when folks come and share information with you, you have to be careful how you receive it. Sometimes you have to take that information with a grain of salt. Because I found out that some folks will bring you information, and I had somebody to bring me some information one time when I was in the 8th grade. And this was before I was as spiritually mature as I am right now. And it was not until I had gotten into a battle and sit at home for 5 days and took a whooping from my grandmama and granddaddy that I realized that those people really were not trying to help me. It was after I got in a fight and the principal sent me home that I realized you got to be careful how you listen to other people when they're trying to send information your way or telling you somebody is coming to get you. Because when that person comes, they might be right there with them. They may be them Ammon, Moabs, and Ammonites, and others besides them. Oh, y'all can't hear me up in here. Is there anybody in here who has been in a battle before when you had to go down on your knees and call on the Lord and say, Lord, I know this battle. It's not mine, it is the Lord's. Y'all don't hear me up in here. But being that Jehoshaphat was so spiritually mature, he knew just how to handle this situation. And this will bring us to our first point, that is the battle cry. Ezra reports in verse 3, and Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord and proclaim a fast throughout all of Judah. Ezra was reporting that Jehoshaphat made the appropriate spiritual response. He has made a fast that will be considered as a national fast. They are getting ready to make an appeal to God through fasting and praying. This means that the babies will not be able to even get a bottle. This means that nobody will be able to eat their favorite meal. This means that everybody in Judah got on one accord. I'm going to deal with that a little later on. And Ezra also reports in verse 4 that the battle cry is getting even louder. It says, so Judah gathered together to ask help. Notice that it says help. From the Lord, and from all the cities of Judah, they came to seek the Lord. Just by the way the people of Judah were gathering together, it lets me know that they must have known the word of God. See, Matthew 12 and 25 says, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city of the house divided against itself will not stand. What I'm saying is the people of Judah had to put their differences aside and come together and cry out to the Lord. Because they understood that if we don't come together, then we just might lose this battle. But I found out that some of us have the same problems in this world, and sometimes we are faced with battles, but we can't put our differences aside long enough to come together and cry out to the Lord. All because you don't like such and so and so. See, our problem is we can't cry out beside one another because she stole my husband. Or my problem is I can't cry beside him because he stole my wife. Or I can't cry beside them because they stole something from me 10 years ago. But I stopped by here to tell you that a divided house will not stand. And while you're sitting there with a hatred in your heart over what somebody else done from you, there might be some enemies on the way around the sea of forgiveness are coming on in to steal the rest of the stuff you got. But what is the sea of forgiveness, preacher? That is the sea that all those sins that have been committed against you have been thrown over in. And while they're on their way around the sea to come at you, they can look off in the sea and see all of those sins that have so easily beset us. And then they come on to you. And if you still got that hatred in your heart, they can use that against you. What I'm trying to tell you is sometimes you got to let stuff go. There's somebody in here right now that need to go home and tell somebody that I love you. It don't matter what you did to me. I